Welcome to the Protractor 360, Filling the Knowledge Gap. Here, we delve into bringing you clarity and demystifying various issues that are affecting different citizens within Uganda. So many of us, when we get to hear about parliament, we think about parliamentarians, but we do not actually know the processes and the operations, as well as the various functions that parliament is meant to serve the Ugandans. So today we are with Honorable Francis KATABAAZI KATONGOLE, the Member of Parliament representing the people of Kalungu East. And he's going to tell us the various functions, what exactly a parliamentarian does, what requirements does one have to become a parliamentarian, and all the other issues or questions that you have regarding Parliament. You're very welcome.
Be here once again. Greetings to everybody, and greetings from Kalungu East. May God bless you all as we watch.
So speaking of Parliament right now, there is a lot of chaos and havoc regarding the Ugandan Parliament. But we all know that Uganda is a multi-party disbanded country. So being a multi-party country, to what extent does your opinion or your thoughts, because when you go to Parliament, we feel like you're there to represent your people or to represent the party, because you're on a party card when you go to Parliament. So to what extent does the party influence your opinions or your thoughts regarding development or any other issue that you're there to represent on the floor of Parliament?
As I begin, I think it's better I tell you the cardinal roles of members of Parliament. They are basically four: to make laws, that is legislating,
Yes.
to allocate resources through the budget committee, representation of our people, views, okay, what people think. And then the third one is oversight. Oversight is we monitor, it's a monitoring and evaluation kind of thing, like you, where government has put money,
So
you find out whether it is well spent, is there value for money, and all that kind of thing. So those are the four major roles. Making laws, we make the laws. Like this is a bill. Once the president has sent his signature on it, it becomes an act.
So you enact the law.
So now that one becomes an act. By the way, so many people confuse. Even I had the chairperson of the Agriculture Committee, when she was reading this coffee bill, she said the Coffee Act. It is not yet an act. It's just a bill.
It's only an act when the
Yes. It was brought to Parliament, okay? A motion moved by the Minister of Agriculture, seconded by some people. Now, he had to speak to his motion, why they are bringing that motion, the intentions and everything. After that, say, then you will have seconders and that kind of thing. Then the speaker referred it to the Committee of Agriculture. So the Committee of Agriculture had to bring in stakeholders in that sector, coffee sector.
Yes.
Different stakeholders, including those very ones of UCDA, the ones who they had to also make a defense that I think this shouldn't go. And then the farmers themselves, they said, what do they prefer? Is UCDA helping them, or it should go? I'm just using UCDA as an example to show you where it has come from. So now, the committee makes a report to the floor. But if you are not agreeing with what the General Committee is saying, you can dissent and write what we call a minority report. Okay?
As an individual or as the...
Some, because a committee like of agriculture maybe has like 50 members or 40. So you might find that 30 are pro. And the others are, even others abscond. They will be like, we are not anywhere. You have that right. With this time, we had a main report and two minority reports. We had the main report read by Honorable Awuma, which recommended 3 years. He said it should be rationalized after 3 years. Then we had a minority read by Honorable Asnas Nyakato. He said no. They think UCDA should not, for the reasons. Now, then Honorable Bed also said it should be rationalized after 5 years. So that's where the difference was. But the body was the same. That's what shocked us. Because normally the body reads to the conclusion. So everyone was saying UCDA is very important. It's dangerous to rationalize it. Then afterwards you say, okay, rationalize it after
5 years or
3 years. That's a U-turn some of us don't believe in. And that meant somebody influenced. And in this case, I think it is the president. He had to influence it. He wanted it. He just wanted it. You know, we have what we call rules of procedure. When you were sworn in, you were given 2 books. There is a book having the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, the laws. And then another one, the rules of procedure. Rules of procedure are the rules that govern you when you are, yes, in Parliament, how you dress, how you talk. You know, all those things are there. They are written there. You don't just go dressed anyhow.
So meaning it's the rules of procedure are some way of orienting or inducting you people into Parliament.
The induction is done, but what I'm saying, these are the guidelines.
Okay.
When you're a member of Parliament, there is some parliamentary language. There is unparliamentary language you are not supposed to use. I'm not allowed to say like, you are stupid.
No,
on the floor of Parliament, it's the top meeting of the country that does the other 4 roles. Chief Whip wanted to amend the rules. You know, there is a way you can suspend. The Speaker has that. Somebody can promote. I suggest, Madam Speaker or Mr. Speaker, that we suspend Rule 205, which allows us to debate rather after 3 days. So they wanted to suspend it so that we debate immediately. And we were like saying, no, come on. This is an issue which should, why the rush? What are you rushing to do? Normally when somebody is doing something wrong, they will do it rushing, hurriedly. And
they don't want to give time to people.
Exactly,
to
because
think
somebody
about it,
can
to
become
question
wiser.
it.
Yes.
Yes, someone could get
So the
alarmed.
rules, actually, Honorable Dul requested the Speaker. He said, Madam Speaker, I think don't make these mistakes. Then you are going to end up suspending all the rules. At the end of the day, why were these rules made? You're suspending. There are times where it can work like that. Then now, after a debate is put, then a question is put. Now, that's where another problem is. There are many ways of voting. That is like voting, where you ask, the Speaker might say, those in favor say aye, to the contrary, nay. Omnibus answers or chorus answers, when it is what the Speaker hears that should base her ruling. Now, we've had instances where most people have said no, and the Speaker said yes.
Because
are you getting it?
She had.
Now, this time, for the first time, we had read the rules properly. Because if you are saying nay, and you are more than 40, then the Speaker has to use another strategy of voting. That's what came out to move to committee stage. Is what we call committee of the whole House. Not the other committee. The other committee is to get views from the people and make a report. But now there is what we call committee of the whole House, which is chaired by the Speaker. Where if you see the Speaker removing this, the wig, putting it down, then now she has become a chairperson. And then she even moves from the other chair to where the clerk sits. to show you that the other one is the supreme one, because they will have to report to her or
What
him.
happened?
Yes, and that will be the minister after the bill is processed. Now they go to committee stage. So they process clause by clause. They look at each clause. Basically, that's how Parliament runs, and then it is managed by a commission which has 9 members. The Speaker is one of them, Deputy Speaker, Leader of Opposition. You see, when you go to Parliament, that Parliament, the key leaders are those 3. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Leader of Opposition. In a rank, 2, 2, 2, 3. Then you bring on Prime Minister on that commission, because he's the leader of government business.
Yes.
Then, number 5 is the Minister of Finance. Are you getting? You must have the one carrying the bag of money on your side. So those are called front bench commissioners. Now we have 4 back bench commissioners according to the numerical strength of the parties. So now NRM has almost 3/4 of the parliamentarians. So they have 3, and opposition has 1. So originally it was Zake for opposition, and the 3, Honorable Sirwanyi, Honorable Foyochan, and Honorable Kampuria Prosi. Those are commission. Now they are supposed to take care of our welfare and the normal running of the parliament.
So now that you've told us the functions of the parliament and the commission of the parliament, so we have very many parliamentarians in Uganda, because Uganda is one of those countries with the largest number of parliamentarians, actually, 157. So is there an orientation or induction that is done for these individuals once they get in to represent their people?
Yeah. It is always done, actually, almost at the beginning. Every session, there are 2 sessions. Each is 2.5 years. So you'll be taken for induction.
So even with this induction being done, why is it that we have a lot of chaos and havoc?
One,
in
the numbers are too big. The number is too big. I was a shadow minister for East Africa, and I made research and found that 4 countries, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi, 4 of East Africa,
Yes.
have in total 1,111 members of parliament. Uganda alone has
557.
something. Ministers. Those 4 countries have 86 in total, because I think Tanzania has 21, these ones have 86. Those 4 countries. Uganda has 83.
As an independent state.
Just one country. And out of these 83, about 6 of them have lead cars. You know these?
Yes.
That's why police stations don't have enough vehicles, because they are illegally, by the way, taken away by these ministers. Because the people who have right of way are president, the vice president, speaker, I think, and the leader of opposition. I don't know, prime minister, if that is also legally binding. They are not very many. And they may be the chief justice, because he's leading an arm, but I don't think he's supposed to have a lead car. But now every minister of state, for what? And you know these ministries, some of them, general duties, then I don't know, without portfolio. Then now you wonder, general duties and without portfolio, who does what? And so you wonder. And they are all, like a Minister of Health has about 5 ministers. 5. But just balancing up. I don't think they are doing a lot. I have an example of the Uganda government. Maybe they are operating a mean budget, but they have a very effective cabinet of very few ministers. I don't know, I think 14 or something. They are not so many, but very effective.
Why is it that we have very many ministers and members of parliament, and not all of them
It is political.
serving?
There is what they call political gerrymandering. You heard of that term? Political gerrymandering does like this. You segment, you partition the constituencies, you create constituencies where you are strong. Very many of them crowd them where you are strong, so that you appear to have more members of parliament. You have Honorable Segona here representing, I think, 600,000 or 500 voters. They are going to be even more because with the new voter register, I don't know. So it's very unfair. So that is gerrymandering at work, but it is dangerous because it increases public expenditure and all what we call recurrent expenditure. Public sector is where I am. You pay me to do what I'm doing. And then the private sector are those investors
Yes.
and other people, business people. For a country that is supposed to run well, the private sector should be very, very strong. Let me give an example which will help you understand it easily. If there is a man who is masculine, strong masculine, and he has a portable wife, I'm not talking about you. They can carry. I don't be offended when I say a portable lady like you. This man will enjoy carrying, no problem. But what if, because now the wife in this case is the public sector.
That pays.
Okay?
Yes.
That is paid, feeds on this one. In Uganda, it is the opposite. We have a malnourished command, very weak, carrying a fat woman, very fat, obese in fact, but still feeding it with yogurt, milk, and the fatty stuff.
Why it's depriving itself.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's draining itself to feed.
Exactly. That's why with something like coffee, which earns people money, which increases their household income,
Yes.
some of us are really hurting that you can play around with such a ministry and give it to the ministry, which is already doing badly.
Speaking of the coffee bill or enacting of laws, you said the parliament is responsible for enacting laws. Article 99 gives the president executive authority in the country, Uganda. So in case the parliament makes a decision to pass a certain law, has this authority given to the president in Article 99 accept him to refute the law that you people have passed?
Okay, he can return the bill to parliament. That according to what I've seen, I think you can change this to that. Let me give you an example. We had COVID, and people said, no, we have our money in NSSF. Let us enact a bill to give people access, mid-term access to their money they are saving, so that they can get themselves out of the economic depression we're heading, the crisis. So we enacted the law, and they said those who qualify, listen carefully, should be either aged 45 and above, or should have saved for 10 years. Now when the man looked at it, because they misused that money, they didn't have it. They are always getting those long hands stealing that money. I remember that the MD, was it called Biarohanga? He said, you were caught pants down. You know, when they say you are caught pants down, that means you've been doing something wrong. Now, he says, now what do we do? Don't worry. Remove the word or and put and. Just that word. It changed the whole thing. So that somebody should be 45 years and above
and must have saved,
for 10 years. That means anyone who was below 45,
Could not
out.
get the money.
Somebody who got a job when he was 40, but now he's 45,
Cannot
out.
get the money.
So the number reduced, and now those one, they had that money. Did you get the point?
Yes.
That is one example. Now, there is another one where it wasn't passed by this parliament. It was by the other parliament, the minimum wage bill. Now, minimum wage bill was talking of the minimum somebody should be paid. It was making the labor laws stronger. I told you here, labor laws are not strong. The workers are the most exploited people, the salary earners. Eh?
Yes.
I was telling people we earn in 4 ways. Eh? You either earn a salary or a profit, or you are given or you steal. People use this bit of stealing so much.
Yeah, many people steal.
Now this one of being given, what if they don't give you? It's not a certain. It's not certain at all. The two sure deals are salary and profit. At the moment in Uganda, the earnings, salaries are not moving. Generally.
Because the economy is down.
No. The salaries are low. No, it's just a law that you can set. Because Kenya has a minimum, you can pay even a maid. She can sue you. But here, there is nowhere. She can go that, this guy is paying me 50K per month. There are maids who are paid 50K or even 30. They say, aren't you eating? This and that. You see? Now, that is the law which those people passed, the 10th Parliament. Now, the president made a comment. Still, Parliament was not satisfied. That Parliament. They said, no, Mr. President, our people need to be put first. Because for him, he was saying, my investors will run away. Eh? My what?
Investors.
We run away because, so the president wants his people to be exploited so the investors can stay. That was anti-people. Parliament rejected and they maintained their status quo. They said no. The minimum, I think, was supposed to be 130,000. That's what they budgeted for somebody like a maid at home who does cleaning and so on.
Domestic work.
So in such a case, this is what happened. If 60 days elapse, I think 60 days or 45, I have to read again that very one. If 60 days elapse, there is a time. If it elapses without the president returning it, it automatically becomes a law.
It has passed.
Are you getting it? So there is a minimum wage act, but now operationalization. It is him who. A law can be passed, but operationalization can be enforced. Like this one now, the bill was passed, but operationalizing it will be government.
So there is no
If they don't want to, they can maintain the status quo maybe for votes, because I know. I can preempt what the president is going to speak about. Say, don't worry, you're going to see. This is nothing that is going to happen. But when he has a button, when somebody has a button, he can make you do things you don't want. So that's why we are trying to protect that the president has no control over their coffee. But now he has too much control that he can decide the price. The Basoga, that side, have sugarcane.
I think they also...
Sugarcane, they are suffering recently because they are being controlled. You are not allowed to sell your sugarcanes 25 kilometers from where you grow them. As if you need a visa to another place in Uganda. Do you get the point? Such an act. How can you allow that? The buyers are monopolies. So they said, from 300,000, now we are paying you 50,000 per ton. Are you getting it? But sugar is increasing, raw materials are reducing in price. Cotton prices are going down, prices for clothes are increasing. What economics is that? It's only coffee that was not able to be controlled. We would actually earn more if Uganda was still in the International Coffee Organization. But we withdrew. That was also a very terrible mistake by this government. So, now, that is bad news for some people who do not like Ugandans to be rich, because they say people who have money, you can't easily rule them.
Yeah, I was going to talk
Yes,
about that.
yes.
It's hard for the government to control people that have money.
Exactly.
So with what happened in Kenya when the Gen Zs reacted with what was happening in government, don't you think that can actually happen in Uganda and it can turn back against you members of parliament who are sent to represent your people, your constituencies in parliament, but it's like you're failing the people that sent you to represent
Actually,
them?
I would support anyone who diverts from what the people sent him to do or her, to be disciplined. When I said disciplined, I'm not necessarily saying they should do the Gen Z, because I'm not pro-violence, but you could vote them out. And now this is very common. There is a party I know, which is the NRM mainly, who normally do that.
They do.
But there is one thing they don't realize, that every time we have a controversial issue like that, 85% of them don't come back.
They're not re-elected.
They're not re-elected.
They actually did not
Yes.
serve their people.
Yes. People can vote with anger. They say, no, you did this against coffee.
So we do not.
We are
want
not
you-
taking you back. Are you getting it?
Yes.
That one is, nobody will compromise.
Because
You touch the constitution to remove age limit,
we're not taking you back.
85% never came back. But there is one constant person who remained.
The fountain
The
of
person
honor.
who told them to go,
Again,
for
is-
him he remains. For him, I would advise my colleagues, MPs from NRM, please use your heads. Don't use just somebody's head to think for you. You represent your people. They gave you that mandate. Please use it and represent your people. Because if you don't, this is what is going to happen, very sure, 100%, in fact 101%, people will be annoyed with you. There are 121 districts that grow coffee. This is not a Buganda thing.
Yeah.
Only that Buganda has a lion share, and the Buganda government has promoted
Did
it
it
so
for the
much.
longest time.
Yes.
Yes. So as Honorable KATABAAZI,
Yes.
love working towards development.
Yes.
So if your party is against a certain development concept, but you know it is good for the people of your constituency, would you vie for
I
it?
told you I go with what my people want, number one. The only thing I have, I'm lucky that that has not happened. My party is a pro-people party. We've not yet had that issue where the party stand is against the people. No, 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 no. Most of the stands for the party are pro-people. That's why I have not collided. But if,
It ever happened?
God forbid, I don't want us to reach there, because now that means we would have been like the ones we opposing.
Yeah.
I will definitely stand with my people. You cannot tell me. I will give you an example, by the way. Like, for example, there are government programs, okay? I cannot oppose a government program, let's say bringing water to my area.
Constituency.
National water is going to, then I say, these are NRM people.
No.
That is
That does
stupid.
not make sense.
They are going to fix this road. UNRWA, now UNRWA was also, I think, on the way to be taken away. Oh, UNRWA. Now I fight. Don't build this. You will not build this road here.
Because they are
Did you get the point?
Yeah.
That is the only. I use this. This is what my people want.
yes.
I want them to move their goods from here to.
You want
Even
them
if
to get ready to the market and to get
my
ready
president,
to be
Robert Kyagulanyi
present.
Sentamu, said, please don't stand with your people concerning the road, or they are launching a road. Don't go there, because they are NRM people. I will go. The only chance I have, there is no time we've had such a thing like the party has gone against the people. No.
Okay.
For us, we are pro-people. I will give you an example, because I did the microfinance at my bachelor's level. And I know very well the PDM cannot help people to become rich. But I don't fight it. Why? Because I know very well as a married person, I've been married for 15 years. If you are smart to maintain a marriage, if you had issues with your wife, don't refuse to eat food because you'll have two issues. Hunger and anger. That makes a combination of a mad person. You'll be mad. You get it? So I cannot tell people, please don't take that money. It is evil. No, I'll be stupid because this is our money. Even those people contribute tax. So if I tell them, oh, reject that money, no, take it if you have a chance. Are you getting? In fact, if there is a way I can help them, I will help them get it because it's their money. Yes, Mioga, what I know they are. I don't believe in them at all. Yeah, because I believe in the old system of cooperative unions, bottom up, not you know from up you decide in SC.
In the top-down approach or top-to-bottom approach, the
Yes.
people that are at the bottom are not really involved.
They are not. Let me give you an example. In Busega here, I have a relative. You know this Kwanjula. You girls nowadays, you do Kwanjula, and Bako normally want to bring in some new stuff. One brought a horse. You know how much a horse is? Very expensive. I was told, I don't know it is how much, like $200,000. That's about 700. He brought it to these people in Busega. After 2 days, they say, please, come and pick this thing. We don't even know what it feeds on. First of all, they don't need it. As much as it is expensive, they don't need it. Don't give somebody what they don't need. Are you getting it? Let them tell you that this is what we need. That is the way to do. You cannot plan for me when you've not involved me in your planning. How can you know what I want?
In a later note, besides you being a member of parliament, are there any other duties that you're serving?
Okay. Of course, like personally, I mind about my people. I have looked at water as an essential item for my people. That's where I put my main emphasis. I have a strategy that to make my people powerful, okay? You know there are two things you need to be powerful. Do you know them? You need to be healthy and wealthy. Health and wealth, period. If you are healthy and wealthy, hey, my friend, everywhere you will be the guest of honor, but you are not the eldest. You are not the oldest in that. In fact, in Uganda, that's how they bring it out. Omugenyi omukulu. Atenga sugwa singo obukulu. Personally, I looked at that. I said something which can help my people get money or help them save money. So I concentrated so much on water. My people had issues of water. So the money they gave me for the car, I'd never handled such an amount, 200 million. I decided to buy a slightly cheaper car because it's just taking me from here to there. Now I sat my team, they said, okay, we should buy something big for the community. There were 3 proposals. One said we buy an ambulance. Okay, I said, that is right. It is in my plan because I want health and wealth. This one will handle health. Another one said a community van, a coaster, to take people when there is burial, this and that, to ease up the transport, football teams for the youths when they're traveling. I said, okay, it's a good idea for the youths and so on. Another one said, no, I think we should buy a water bowser. You know water bowser? This water tank, which can transport water from here to there. So I had to get 160 million and buy a water bowser.
And actually, even in the sustainable development goals.
Thank you. Access to clean water.
Yes,
now, they said this one will serve the living, it will serve the plants, it will serve the dead, it will serve the animals. So it was voted. So I have a very big water bowser, which I bought after like 3 or 4 months after being sworn in for my people, which carries water, 13,000 liters, a huge one. So if there is a function, it can park there. Somebody has, his animals are starving, there is no water, it takes from a place where there is water. Then I embarked on boreholes because we don't have running water, most of this piped water in most of the areas. It's only Lukaya and not all parts of Lukaya. Others don't have piped water. So I decided to start the issue of boreholes. So being a representative of the people, I've written proposals to so many people. Some have responded positively. Rotary Club, Centenary Bank have come in handy. And I've still written more because I need about 200 boreholes. But so far, I've been able to get about 17, which is also not bad. Because one borehole like this, if it is serving, you might find it's serving 7 villages. If the water is less at how much? 500. And they are fetching 1,000 jerrycans a day. That means by putting this borehole, which costs about 30 million, in this area, I'm saving this village community 500,000. No, there are two issues. I told you it is health and wealth. Eh? So they will drink clean water to avoid the disease. But they will also be saving what? Money. They will save money. How? Because the money they would have used for buying the jerry cans of water, you can find a homestead maybe uses, a household uses maybe 5 jerry cans. That's 2,500. Now, if they are getting it for free, I think that's a good donation I would have given them. You'll find that if that means that village I've given it 500,000 daily. In a year, it's 84 million, my dear. I would have given every village. Now times the 17 boreholes, how much have I given my people? It's a big number. So I look at that. About delivery beds, there is a health center in Lukaya. I found people, the way they deliver mothers, you know, our people really are fertile. They give birth. That one, I'm not against it. They are adding more voters, which are planned for them. But the health centers are in a terrible mess. This one is a common thing. You find where they deliver from, it's even a pig cannot deliver from there. It's insane. So I bought quite a number of beds. And in fact, like Rukaya, when I went there, it was terrible. I bought just 2 like this, delivery beds. Now, people used to, it's only those who had no option that used to go to Lukaya Health Center 3 to deliver. Okay? Yeah. And in a week, they could have like 3 deliveries. Right now, because of those 2 beds, just like this, 2 beds. Because me, I look at the impact as well. I don't believe in this thing of giving you 10,000, you eat, then tomorrow you are hungry again. So, but these delivery beds are there. And they're on my name. I supported the government what? Health center, because it's the one giving free treatment and what. So today as we talk, about between 20 to 30 in 1 week. Okay. So that is a very positive impact I feel the people of Lukaya
have gotten from
yes.
Honorable KATABAAZI, I feel like you have a lot that
yes,
you do.
Yeah.
For
Actually, if I start time is on. But we also on a mentoring program for the youths. And I've done this in so many universities and secondary schools. These are going to be our leaders tomorrow. If we really don't bring them up the way we want them to be, we are bringing out a very dangerous...
Because you're not going to be here forever. So
you must train them. I've discovered that my talks have always been exciting, and I've left the ones I'm teaching yearning for more. You can teach for 2 hours and they feel like you've taught for 30 minutes. They want you to come back, but maybe you can't. Then you let them ask questions, because I'm teaching them about real life, how to present yourself, how to, make yourself a winner, because a big percentage of losing or winning is you.
Okay.
And being original, not being
Be true to
photocopy.
yourself and being
You know, many
authentic.
people are born original, but they die photocopies.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
a lot that you do for your people, and thank you for being so socially impactful to the people
Yeah,
in
and then the land
communities.
issues, we've been involved in so many land issues. So those are things which are not within me, but of course, as a voice, you put in a
You have a
voice
voice
and
for the
it
voiceless.
helps.
Okay, so kindly have a parting message for the viewers seeing you out there.
First of all, I thank you, first of all, for giving me this chance to talk to you, and the producers, the cameraman, the entire team, because it's not you who does this alone, and the station for giving me a chance. Because if the station refuses, there is no way I can share out what I have to the viewers out there. I would like to tell people out there, it is health and wealth that will make you powerful. So anyone who tampers with anything that is stopping you from getting those in abundance is against you. That's why I'm fighting the Coffee Amendment Bill 2024, because it's anti-people. And I say it, even the people who are bringing it out, they know. Because we lost, we had so many cash crops. All of them have lost value. How can raw materials be very cheap, but the products are expensive? Which economics is that? Tobacco, cigarettes are expensive, tobacco is cheap. Clothes are expensive, cotton is cheap. Sugar is expensive, sugar canes are cheap. Even jinga in Butambala, it is also losing value. So, for heaven's sake, people should wake up and stand to the occasion. And my colleagues, leaders, let us look at the next generation. What will our people, our children and the children of our children have left than just the next general elections?
Well, that was the Protractor 360, Filling the Knowledge Gap, with me, Patricia Nandago, with a long and lengthy oversight from Honorable Francis KATONGOLE. So he has gone ahead to tell us what parliamentarians do, the operations, the procedures, and the commissions or the different committees that are in Parliament and how everything runs in Parliament. So, as the voter out there, are you going to vote for a politician or a statesman? Have that in mind.